Hello, hello. Welcome to day 1122 of Connecting the Thoughts. Quote for today is, sometimes expectations lead to silence. I said sometimes expectations lead to silence, and the silence can again mean so many things. But what is to be focused on here today is the expectations. Because yes, sometimes expectations lead to silence. We suddenly feel like overwhelmed. We feel like there is, we feel disappointed sometimes because we had some expectations. Sometimes we feel disappointed in others or in ourselves, and then that could lead to silence. More on this on the other side of the show reel. If you haven't subscribed already, do subscribe to the channel. Tag a friend who needs to receive this message today. And until then, let's watch the show reel. Welcome back to the conversation on day 1122. Quote for today is sometimes expectations lead to silence. And what do I mean by that? Sometimes when we have an expectation of others, when we're expecting a certain response, when we're expecting a certain behavior, yet we don't receive it, we tend to go silent. We tend to feel, you have that uneasy, cold silence in the room where, the other person can sense it that, okay, something's up, but then the other party or the other person is not willing to address the elephant in the room. So what do we do in such a situation? Well, if the silence of the other person truly matters to you, then, hi Cindy. Well, if the silence of the room truly matters to you, silence of the other person truly matters to you, then what you need to do is to actually walk up to them and have a straightforward conversation. It's literally as simple as that. Keep it simple. If somebody is important to you and you feel like, okay, they're gone silent on me and I don't know why, then the best thing for you to do would be to actually go up to them and have a conversation and then try figuring out what's going on over there. What's the reason for the silence? Because if you don't do that, what happens is, if this person, hey Elsie, thank you so much for joining. If you don't kind of go and speak to the person, and again, it's not speaking from a place of confrontation or anything, but coming from a place of caring, coming from a place of tenderness, knowing that your tone is going to make a massive, massive difference. So speak to the other person about what that silence could mean and where there must be a gap in expectations, and then do your best to fill it up, because this relationship matters to you, right? How, on the other hand, if something doesn't really matter to you so much, or if you want to kind of shield yourself by the impacts of that, then great, go ahead, meet up, ignore the silence, and just continue to go through the days, go through the encounters as though nothing changed or as though it doesn't matter to you. Thank you, Cindy. Cindy says, just ask the truth, ask the person. So obvious, isn't it? It's just the most obvious thing to do. Just say the truth and ask the person. However, we often kind of hold back from it. I've seen multiple times that people hold back from doing this. They feel like they find it difficult to ask the person themselves. So instead of asking the person, they will ask other people about that person, or they will ask if, is something up? What's gone wrong? They won't ask that person, but they will go and ask another person about it. And then that leads to further complications because possibly the person they're asking is giving their perspective of the scenario, and it could be a different thing altogether. And I'll give you an example. Earlier today, I was in conversation with someone who means a lot to me, and I hadn't spoken to her in a long, long, long time. And that was because I had certain expectations from my relationship with her. And it was beautiful because when life put us in a place where we needed to be there for each other, we stepped up, and I just reached out and we just got connected. But today, on a softer note, when we got in conversation, I asked her, I said, when I disappeared, what did you think? What did you think my silence meant? And she gave me her interpretation of it, which was very sweet. She said, I thought you were busy or you were traveling or whatever. And then I told her what I was expecting of her. And then she kind of made it very, very clear to me what was actually going on. So what I'm trying to drive home for you today is you might assume something about a situation or a person, and the other person might actually be in another space altogether. So if the two of you matter enough to make that relationship work, then it's important for you to come together and speak to each other instead of speaking about each other, right? Things can be misinterpreted if you don't ask. Exactly. So that's pretty much what happened. While I thought she was in a different space, she thought I was in a different space, and we were just assuming things until life brought us to a spot where we needed to be there for each other, and then just had that beautiful conversation earlier today. So that's what I mean. If a relationship is important to you, then speak to the person instead of about the person. And again, I'm going to take this a level up. When I say talk about the person, I also mean what you are talking about the person in your head. It doesn't have to be that you're talking about the person to someone else. Like I said, there were assumptions I had made, that there was assumptions she had made about me. And so we were both talking about the other person in our head, right? So stop doing that. Do not talk about people. Talk to the people. Talk to them and ask them what's going on. Come from a place of curiosity. Come from a place of empathy. Do not bring in judgment. Do not bring in, past experiences or anything from the past into the conversation. Just be present for today, for now, and listen without judgment. Listen without interpretations. It helps to make relationships stronger and super strong. It makes the relationship so strong that that level of love, respect, trust, and hope that you have in that relationship then kind of goes over and out, over the moon. And I just can't put it into words. Cindy says you can develop a resentment if you don't check it out. Exactly. And then every time you don't check out with that person, you tend to kind of drift away, which is precisely what I felt at a point where, I was drifting away. However, when I was able to have the conversation today, it felt so much lighter to let the other person know, hey, this was what I was expecting, and this is what kind of I didn't get. And so I just decided to go silent, and nobody came up to me to ask me, why are you silent? What's going on? And that hurt even more. But as I said, when life put me in a situation where I could be there for you, I chose to, because I love you, and you're important to me. So think about it. Don't wait for life to put you in that spot where, it becomes like that the right thing to do, jump in and step in and help somebody. But use your intuition, use your awareness to if you feel something's amiss, just reach out, speak to them. It's as simple as that. And come from a place, as I said, your tonality, the way you kind of address the situation makes a massive difference in terms of whether the person's going to open up to you or whether they're going to go further into their shell. Think about all of this, and I wish you amazing relationships where you thrive, you grow, you learn so much about yourself and the others. I wish you all the best. And if this conversation has been of value to you, I know that yesterday as well, I put it in as I am listening, but I think this seems to be the theme. So I am listening in comments if this has been of value to you, because I think the most important thing that you can ever do in a relationship is to listen. Listen to what's being said, what's not being said, and what the silence can waste. Until tomorrow, keep smiling, keep shining. Stay safe, and thank you for connecting the thoughts with me. Thank you so much. Thank you, Cindy, for listening. And I am so glad I listened to you. Thank you, Elsie. Thanks, RK. On point. Okay, Gaurav, thank you for watching. Thank you. Some love, some like for the video, please, if I may. And until tomorrow, keep smiling, keep shining, stay safe. And thank you for connecting the thoughts with me. Thank you so much. Oops. And before I go, my guest on Wise Wednesdays today is Val Alino. She is an amazing person, very energy oriented, someone who understands. She's a healer. She is someone who has braved so many storms. Her story is something that is nothing short of inspiring. If you are going through a challenge, or if you know somebody who is, and tag a friend who needs to receive today's conversation, because there can be so many aha moments for you when I speak to Val. So I'll see you in some time on Wise Wednesdays later. Bye now.